I am recording a cover of Believer by Imagine Dragons. And so, once again, it's really easy to get bogged down in the specifics of trying to plan out exactly a plan of attack and things like that. And this is yet another place where I really think that it's easier to just do it. Just get in there and start doing it. And if you make mistakes, then so be it. You know, there's plenty of times to go back and fix those mistakes. So I don't stress out about that. I just go in, start messing with it, and you know, I can always fix things later. I can always go back and re-record things later, and I can always, if I decide if I get inspired halfway through to do a completely different direction, I can always just throw out everything that I've done. But again, I would rather at the end of an hour have 45 minutes worth of recording done on the hard drive rather than spend an hour thinking about it and planning it and trying to figure out the best way to do it, because then you never get done. This one is interesting because it's going to, I'm gonna stick, at least to start, I'm gonna stick pretty close to the original, but I'm doing it all with, you know, acoustic instruments. I am gonna cheat a little bit because of my room. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use, most of my instruments have pickups in them. I'm gonna plug them in directly, and so it's kind of not acoustic, but it's all at least acoustic instruments. You know, real drums, not sequence drums or anything like that. No sequence like keyboards or anything like that. No synthesizers. One of the things I really thought would be cool on this project is a toy piano, but couldn't find one yet. And again, you can get bogged down in the things that you don't have yet, or you can just get to work and just do the stuff that you want to do. So I'm going to just jump in here. I usually start off with a scratch track with just an acoustic guitar and vocals, just so that way I've got something to go with. First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Pain, you make me a believer, believer. Alright, so there we go. That is a scratch track. Basically, I just use that just to show what's going on while I'm recording the rest of it. This is my solution for acoustic bass. I don't have an upright. I didn't want to cheat using my electric bass. This is Acousticover ukulele bass, and I like this thing a lot. It's got some issues, and maybe I'll do a full review on it, but for what I'm doing here, I think it's gonna work all right. Another part that should always be part of your process is always tune. Always tune your instruments before you do a track. You know what I think I'm gonna do? Now that I say that, I'm gonna tune. See if this will go down to drop D. Okay. The ukulele bass does not like to go into drop D, but I think we've got it. So here we go. We're gonna try this and see what we've got. Pain, you made me a believer, believer, believer. All right. So there were some weird notes in there. I will probably go back and re-record that after I listen to it a couple times. This instrument does not at all like being in drop D. So I will probably bring it back up. In fact, a string kept coming out of the nut here because the tension is so loose. So I will probably go back and fix that, and yeah, then we'll kind of move forward. Hey, Hey everybody, so in the grand tradition of done is better than perfect, this vlog is not going to be perfect because I ran out of battery in the middle of doing what I was doing, and I was still waiting for the other one to finish charging. So in the meantime, I have actually done quite a bit of work. Alright, so here is my my track so far for Believer. I'll give you a little bit of this, maybe coming back here and jumping in. Yeah, so everything that we've got in there is they're all acoustic instruments that I have here in my studio. This has been a really interesting exercise because some things have gone better than I expected. Some things have simply not gone as expected. Some of these things were just remarkably hard. There's this little triangle track that I was not expecting a triangle to give me trouble, but man, this is fast. It's so hard to play that at a consistent tempo. You know, the hand just starts to get tired. So, but anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with what's going on here. Like I said, I've got to still take out the scratch vocal and scratch acoustic and make the adjustments on those. Put in the real versions of those. Add in some backup vocals, and then I think I'll be ready to start moving on to mixing. Everything here that you just heard is raw. There's only a couple places. I think I did some work to the bass, mostly just so it would sit in the track better while I was working on it, while I was playing with it. That bass has got to be there. It's got to be really strong. Otherwise, you know, it's hard to know what you should be playing as a musician if that bass isn't there the way that it's going to be, or at least something similar. So I did do a little bit of work on the bass. But otherwise, everything here is just totally raw. I did pull back the volume on some things that were just hideously too loud to work with. But yeah, so I'll do the acoustic guitar over now, and then I will start on scratch vocals. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. So what I want to do is I want to play with the instrumental just a little bit and make sure it's going to be able to sit where I want it to be before I start putting things, instruments and things away. So with all of the acoustic instruments that have their own pickups, I went through and I've created impulse responses for all of them. And what that is, it's really a highly detailed EQ. And so what I did in the past is I took this microphone and I also plugged in the instruments directly into the recorder, and basically had the program compare the two, and it's EQing the direct signal to make it sound as close as possible to the microphone sound. So the result is that I get a very natural sound even though it's coming from a direct input, which works out really well. And this is how it sounds originally. I'm just going to mute. I'm going to solo the mandolin here. The mandolin is the worst offender. Here we go. Kind of a gross sound. We'll just put in. Now it makes it a lot softer. I can fix that. And again, this is without. It's just a magnetic pickup. And not a very good magnetic pickup, but if I click it back in, it's a whole lot better. It's a lot closer to what it sounds like when I actually have it mic'd up. So I love this option. Like I said, in my room, there's so much noise and echo and everything else that's going on that it's really hard to properly mic something up. So putting this in context. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to go through and apply the IRs that I have. I think I have one for just about everything. I've got one for the acoustic guitar, got one obviously for the mandolin, one for the ukulele. I have one for the bouzouki. I have one for the resonator, but I ended up just miking that just because I didn't... I'm having some trouble with the pickup on the resonator. Yeah. Oh, on the bass, I did end up using an impulse response, but it wasn't mine. It's a 3 Sigma Audio upright bass IR. And I like that because it really rounds out the Aclot. The biggest thing I don't like about it is its preamp. Its preamp is just not very round. I mean, I wonder if it's the same exact preamp that is in my my Donner ukulele. It's just, it doesn't seem very well suited to the instrument that it's amplifying. So the upright bass isn't 100% there, but at least it's closer, and it's, you know, it rounds it out. So I do a few other things with EQ and compression to make sure that bass sounds pretty okay, but yeah. So I'm gonna do some tweaking on here, and then I will jump back in with you guys. All right, hey everybody, we're back. It's now the next day. I've listened with a set of fresh ears, and I've got a few things I want to finish up on this track, but I think it's actually in a pretty good place. I need to redo the ukulele track, just to sync it up a little bit more with some of the things that were added after that ukulele track was put in, which is pretty normal with the way that I work. You know, the track kind of evolves away from where it exactly started at, and then I go back and I redo some of those first things. I redid the acoustic guitar already. The scratch vocal replaced that all out. I'm also going to add, I think, just 2 vocal tracks. I'm starting to kind of think ahead to what I'm going to do with the video, and I don't want it to be too... I just don't want to overwhelm it any more than I already have with all of the channels that I already have. I think I have something like 17 different tracks already. And I want to make sure all of those things are represented in the video. Most people that do the videos, even when they are like live performance videos, a lot of those are already they're already done recording separately in the studio, and then they do the video later. And the biggest reason they do that is so that they only have to worry about one thing at a time. When I did the Live from the Bunker series on my channel, everything there was live as it, you know, as it looked. Nothing overdubbed, nothing done in the studio, everything was just there. I would go in and do some cleaning up in post, but, you know, the video that you saw on the Live from the Bunker series, that was all me making that music in the moment. So what you heard and what you saw, that was the same moment. With the AcoustiCover series, I'm less concerned about that because obviously you're never going to be able to get me playing, you know, 16 different instruments all at the same time. So really it's more about the product of just having all these, you know, approaching all these pop tunes with nothing but acoustic instruments and just trying to see, you know, if we can get close to some of those sounds or if we can find some other ways to, you know, get in the same musical ballpark. So that's kind of the point of the AcoustiCover series. What I'm doing here with the AcoustiCovers, I'm trying to be very minimalist with my with the production. We're talking primarily basically just polishing it up just a little bit. I'm not manipulating things. I'm not adding stuff that wasn't there originally. I'm just cleaning it up. EQ moves. You know, I talked before about impulse responses, which is really just a super sophisticated equalizer. We're talking about compression, just so that you can hear what's going on. We're talking about obviously mixing. You know, maybe a little bit of tuning. Not much, really, just to kind of, just, again, we're just cleaning. You know, nothing synthesized, nothing, nothing virtual. Everything is there. I guess I am throwing some reverb on, so I guess that would be virtual. But trust me, you don't want to hear the reverb in my room. You'll probably hear plenty of it as it stands anyway. But anyway, I'm going to get started with that now. I'm throwing in the ukulele and then 3 vocal tracks, and then we should be done. Let the bullets fly, oh let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from pain. Believer, believer. Okay, so got the high vocal, got the low vocal. Really very happy with that. Surprisingly. I didn't feel good about it when I was performing it, but just hearing it here in the mix, I think it's fine for what I'm doing. So now we just start the process of kind of tweaking and sort of just massaging everything and getting it into shape. So yeah, so I just gotta do some EQ moves, do some panning, some reverb, you know, compression, you know, maybe a little bit of tuning on some of these backup vocal parts. And then we will be ready, all done with this, and be ready to move on to thinking about the video.